Final step is to export the data to file. I've got a plan where I've got the headings and the strings that I need, and I'm going to keep this open to the right-hand side so that I can easily copy and paste the content and make sure that the file I generate matches my plan. Please set up a new Python text file called component6, write to file, and import the date from date time. Then go to the top of your history component and copy the calculation. Paste in your calculations at the top, retrieve the date and split it into day, month, and year, and then generate the file name. At this point, writing to the file is easy. We're going to go with open, write to, W is a text file. We can pop in our heading. We can say when it was generated. We can put in an introduction. And then for each item in our calculation list, we can write that item to file. And if we run that piece of code, it looks like it worked. And in my folder, I can go date modified, open up the text file, and confirm that it did work as expected. We can now integrate this code into our history GUI. As always, your first step is to go into your most recent GUI, tap F5, and make a new version. I've added in an extra list item to my calculations list so that I can see that I'm testing this file rather than my write to file text file. Then to integrate, I can split my text file to the right, and it's a useful reminder that at the top, I need to remember to import my date and time. And then in my history export class, before my close history function, I can create a export data function, which is going to have calculations as one of its parameters. And then I can take most of the data, copy it, and paste it in. The only thing I'm not taking across, of course, is my calculations, because that's being fed in. Then what I need to do is, of course, program the button. That makes it the third item in my list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Lambda to take those calculations across. We also need to edit the labels so that users know that the export has been successful. The best place to do that is after where we create the file name. So we can set up our success string and then recolor the background and edit the text. And as always, it's a great idea to comment your code. And if we run our code and I push export, it looks like it's been successful, although that green color is a little bit dark. And if I look at the text file, we can see that it was successful, and it does show it was a test, which means it's used the GUI rather than the text file from earlier. And if you've been copying me exactly, you probably realized that you don't want to configure the background to be dark green, but you would rather configure the foreground to be dark green and make your text bigger, so that when we export, that's what the success message looks like. The last thing that we need to do is, of course, integrate this component into our base component, and then we're done. So let's do that in the next video.